Yesterday, you created a $1.8 billion slush fund to dole out taxpayer dollars to the president's supporters, including those who attacked this Capitol on January 6th. That is pure theft of public funds.
The senator escalates quickly to specific grievances. He highlights the recent creation of what he calls a $1.8 billion slush fund to compensate the president's supporters, including those involved in the January 6 Capitol attack, calling it outright theft of public funds and an obscene reward for criminal behavior. Van Hollen ties this to broader patterns. Pardons for January 6 participants, the firing of lawyers who handled those cases, politically motivated prosecutions, naming James Comey and others, and actions against journalists.
And I would recognize Senator Van Hollen for his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Blanche, welcome. The acting attorney general is supposed to be the people's lawyer and defend the rule of law and not act as the president's personal lawyer. But in this administration, the Department of Justice is solely focused on pleasing one man, no matter the cost. Lest anyone forget, huge banners with Donald Trump's face hang from both sides of the main Justice building. This is the big banner of Donald Trump on one side of it, so that every single person who enters that building will see it and remember exactly what that man wants them to do. You're his former personal attorney, and you know exactly what he wants. In fact, he often posts it right here on social media, his Truth Social account. He wants to weaponize the department for his own political ends. And right from the start, you and your cohorts have worked to deliver what he wants, doing his political dirty work. 2 days ago, you even suggested that there was, quote, a ton of evidence that the 2020 election was rigged against Trump. And here you are at a budget hearing asking for taxpayer funds to pursue the department's mission when you're using those funds to punish Trump's adversaries, reward his friends, and pursue his personal vendettas. It began with pardoning the rioters who stormed the Capitol on January 6th and assaulted police officers. The revenge continued with the firing of more than a dozen lawyers who represented the Justice Department in those cases. Yesterday, you created a $1.8 billion slush fund to dole out taxpayer dollars to the president's supporters, including those who attacked this Capitol on January 6th. That is pure theft of public funds. And rewarding individuals who committed crimes is obscene. Every American can see through this illegal, corrupt, self-dealing scheme. You have also misspent resources on the blatant political prosecutions of James Comey and others. You couldn't find a single career lawyer to bring the first case against Comey, and lawyers resigned rather than participate in that charade. Now you've launched a ludicrous vindictive prosecution in the Seashell case. It's a shameful dereliction of your duty to pursue impartial justice without fear or favor. You've also brought criminal charges against journalists who were doing their jobs in Minneapolis. You've refused to hold accountable the DHS agents who shot and killed Renee Good. Instead, while members of the administration called both Renee Good and Alex Preddy domestic terrorists, you ordered a criminal investigation of Renee Good's partner. Hardworking professional attorneys resigned rather than engage in that abuse of power. Others in the department have been fired for telling the truth to the courts, an insidious message to send to officers of the court. You have fired immigration judges who rendered decisions the administration didn't like. More gross political interference in what is supposed to be an independent process. All told, DOJ lost over 8,500 staff last year and nearly 1/4 of its lawyers. It's so bad that you're now offering $25,000 signing bonuses and hiring prosecutors with no prior legal experience, seeking applicants who personally pledge support to the president. You've also refused to share with members of Congress the Office of Legal Counsel's purported legal justification for the blatantly illegal war the president and Prime Minister Netanyahu started in Iran. You have clear conflicts of interest between your prior job as the president's personal lawyer and your duty to ensure justice. This is especially true with respect to the cases of the survivors of the heinous crimes committed by Jeffrey Epstein. Many of those survivors are in New York City today as we speak, as part of a 24-hour public reading of the Epstein files. Many reading excerpts from their own FBI 302 reports documenting the abuses they endured. These survivors have tried to share their stories with you. Instead, you spent 2 days interviewing his convicted associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, and shortly thereafter, she was moved to a lower security prison camp with special perks. Mr. Blanche, the record is crystal clear. You are still acting as the president's personal lawyer, not as acting attorney general. It is hard to justify giving you any funds that will enable this pattern of wrongdoing to continue. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
In this heated Senate Appropriations Committee hearing clip from May 19, 2026, Senator Chris Van Hollen, Democrat, Maryland, delivers a sharp, point-by-point indictment of Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche and the Department of Justice under the current administration. Van Hollen opens by reminding the audience that the Attorney General is supposed to serve as the people's lawyer, upholding the rule of law, not acting as the president's personal attorney. He argues that under this administration, the DOJ appears laser-focused on pleasing one man, symbolized dramatically by large banners of the president hanging at the main Justice Building. He notes Blanche's prior role as the president's personal lawyer, suggesting it creates an inherent conflict that's playing out in real time. He also criticizes the DOJ's staffing crisis. Over 8,500 staff losses, nearly a quarter of its lawyers, leading to desperate measures like $25,000 signing bonuses and hiring prosecutors with minimal experience who must pledge personal loyalty. Other points include alleged interference in immigration courts, refusal to hold certain agents accountable, and handling of sensitive cases like Jeffrey Epstein's associates, including Ghislaine Maxwell's prison transfer. Tone and context. This is classic partisan oversight theater. Van Hollen is forceful, well-prepared, and speaks with moral outrage, framing the DOJ as corrupted by personal vendettas rather than impartial justice. The delivery is rapid-fire, listing grievances to paint a picture of systemic abuse. For supporters of the administration, this looks like hyperbolic opposition rhetoric designed to obstruct funding and delegitimize leadership. For critics, it's a necessary public accounting of alleged abuses of power.